Greetings, BlazeLeeDragon here, and today I have another video response to a request that I got from one of my subscribers. Now, of course, this video has to do with long hair, which, as many of you already know, I am a very big fan of. So if you have questions and you would like to hear my opinion or personal take on them, by all means post them in the comments below or send me a message, Google+, here on YouTube, wherever you want. Now, this particular video, of course, as I mentioned, was a request. The request was from Martha Raymond. She says, "Hi Blaze, I enjoy your videos. I think the casual, clear, friendly way you address your audience is so relaxing. I am interested in your thoughts on long hair, how it affects us, others, why we love it, strands as antennas to the cosmos, anything and everything. If you don't want to, I understand. Thanks for the vids." As with all the video requests that come my way, thank you for asking. This, of course, is my opinion. I'm by no means an expert in any way, shape, or form. I just like to share my thoughts and impressions and opinions, so here goes nothing. Long hair. Why do we love it? Now, obviously, most people are going to have their own opinion, and it's not always going to be the same. Some people like long hair, some people like short hair. It just depends on the individual person, whether it's on a male or a female. You know, depending on how your hair is it straight, is it curly, is it thick? An individual's culture and upbringing is going to majorly influence how they wear it. Sometimes it's symbolic of their spirituality or their commitment to something, whether they're shaving their head or growing it out longer. So let's take a look at a few things from history and a couple stories that had to do with long hair. To begin with, we will start with something that is sacred to my personal heritage on my mother's side. Actually, even on my father's side too, because of the Germanic tribes as well as the Norse and Scandinavian tribes. So yeah, let's go with that. We're going to talk about the goddess Sif, the wife of Thor, who was usually depicted as having this long, beautiful, blonde flowing hair. Now, this is one of the few things that really stands out about Sif and who she was. And yes, if you're a fan of the Marvel movies, Sif has got dark hair, not long blonde hair. But the goddess was always depicted with long blonde hair. And one of the theories is that this is symbolic of, like, basically a field of wheat. She had to do with, harvest and crops and about making them bloom so people could eat and take care of themselves. So this was a very important symbol. And the hair, in this case, was very, very important because not only was it very symbolic of who she was, but it was something that Thor treasured, that she treasured. It was something that people associated with her. And it happens that there was a story where Loki, seeing how much Thor treasured her hair, decided he's going to take this away. So what he ended up doing is one time when she was asleep, he basically shaved her bald. So there's a huge deal about this, and Thor threatening to kill other gods. "Who dare cut off my wife's hair, you bastards?" And they ended up, Loki ended up making her a synthetic wig type of a deal out of silk, like a blonde yellow silk, to kind of replace her hair. But either way, she was usually depicted with this, and this is one aspect of how hair was extremely important in that particular culture, and with that goddess specifically. In the Norse traditions, their magical practice was commonly referred to, and of course I'm going to probably butcher the pronunciation on this, but it's pronounced roughly Ser. It's like S-E-I, and it's like this symbol that's sort of like it means a T-H, but it kind of looks like a D and then an R, but it's Ser. And this practice of magic, don't quote me, but I believe one of the things that they ended up doing was braiding their spells into their hair. And it is pretty predominant in a lot of these tribes and societies where the men had long hair as well as the women. And they would wear it long and flowing or back in braids. Again, just one of many examples of how long hair is deeply enriched in the culture, as well as the spirituality in this case, potentially. Again, don't quote me on it, but long flowing hair was part of their culture and society. It was a symbol of who they were in essence. Now, some of the other ones, let's talk about the Priestess of Aphrodite, who everybody knows. Everybody's heard of Medusa. The snake-haired lady that could turn people to stone with a gaze. She was a priestess who was gorgeous, beautiful, and because of her vanity, the goddess cursed her and turned her into this Gorgon, this snake-haired woman that, again, turns people into stone just by her gaze. They couldn't even look upon her. And again, we have the hair being this huge symbol of part of her beauty, and it's being now turned into these serpents and these snakes that, again, have this power, like her eyes, or perhaps it was the snakes. Either way, it was to make her feel different. It was, again, that hair and that importance with that hair. Moving along further, and again, mispronunciating names because that's what I like to do, let's talk about the god Poseidon. Now, there was this individual, Taphius, not sure on how do you pronounce his name properly, and he had a son, Pterilus, whom Poseidon basically made immortal by implanting this golden hair in his head. Again, this hair, symbology with magic, immortality, long life. Now, when this hair was eventually plucked out by someone, this individual actually died. Again, we see a similar circumstance with the war against Crete, with King Nisus, who had a purple hair put into his head, and again, when this hair is plucked out, he dies. Again, once more, hair with immortality. Or King Nisos, who had long hair, and Scylla decided to cut it off for love of her father, and he basically committed suicide afterwards. Again, long hair being important and taking it away being very bad. We even see this in Christian mythology with Samson. Now, Samson I like to think of almost like Hercules. He was this man who was basically blessed by God to have these demigod-like powers, this super strength that just made him just incredibly strong. However, when his hair was cut off, he was like normal mortal man again with normal human strength just because his hair is cut off. Again, with that symbolism with that hair and that power being inside of that hair. Regardless of who you ask and how you put it, whatever part of society or culture you want to look at, hair has been very important throughout the years, whether it be having long hair or having short hair for whatever reason. Yes, there are magical and spiritual reasons for having your hair certain lengths. But there's more than that. Sometimes hair is simply associated with beauty. Other times it's just simply a style that people like to have. I like to think about it too, that there is a freedom to it, such as in China, the men used to have their hair however they wanted to, at any length, and this was an expression of freedom. And then later in the Qing dynasty, they were forced to have this basically, like, I guess they call it the bullet hairstyle is what we refer to it as, where it's shaved in the front and it's a long braid down the back. They were forced to have that. So once they got free from the Qing dynasty, they started cutting their hair short, just as a rebellion of being forced to have it so long. But prior to that, they wore it any length they wanted to, you know, and that's the thing with hair. It's an expression of freedom. It's an expression of self. It's showing, hey, I'm wealthy. I'm able to grow out my hair. Look at all the different patterns and designs that I can do with braids or styles or different things that I can do by having that length. You know, there's different tribes like the Native American tribes. A lot of the men, they had long hair just like the females. Now, granted, there of course were different tribes that would shave it, have it short. But again, you see this long hair throughout different cultures all around the world. There's also this age and wisdom that is often associated with long hair. Shamanistic, priest-like individuals of a lot of these tribal societies and communities would grow out their long hair because, you know, it showed that there was this connection with age. As you grow, the hair grows. The longer your hair are, the longer you've been alive. So if you were able to have this long head of hair, look how wise you must be to have had it for this long, and look how well you take care of yourself because of how healthy and rich your hair looks after all this time of growing it out. You know, is it broken or matted or tangled? No, it's healthy and taken care of. I groom myself well with this long, beautiful mane of hair. Again, you know, like I said, I get it. Not everybody likes long hair, but there are a lot of individuals throughout cultures who have. Not to mention, let's talk about modern spiritual practices that could be associated with it. Now, we talked about the knots in the hair with basically braiding spells into your hair. There are different types of knot work, kind of magic, to where you are concentrating and focusing on a spell. You're saying, you know, specific words. Perhaps you have some candles lit. Maybe you're using oils or different type of anointed water or stones, whatever the case may be. But as you're braiding and tying this hair together, it's almost like doing knot magic, to where you're putting that essence and that energy into that braid. So it's holding it there for you. So you're almost wearing your spell with you, which some people choose to do in their modern practice. And again, I'm not sure how ancient this practice was or how often it was used, but I do know it's something that is used today at least. Then there's another aspect to this long hair. Often you'll see individuals who are trying to meditate and focus their thoughts wear a hood or a robe or something. Long hair does, in my opinion, a very similar thing. It allows you to kind of shut out light and sound from the outside. When your hair is long and you wear it down and it's over your ears, partially over your eyes, you are shadowing yourself into this narrowed view so that you can not be distracted by outside distraction and kind of help focus your thoughts. This is something that I discuss in my hood and staff video. Please go check it out. I should still have it up here on YouTube. So yeah, these are just a couple of my thoughts, just sharing and talking about hair. You know, it's something I like. I've always, and I haven't always, I guess I started wearing long hair when I was about maybe 16, 17 is when I started growing it out. And at the time I made this video, I'm 35. I've had long hair most of my life. Sometimes I cut it shoulder length, which to me is short hair, but everybody's different. So hopefully you liked this video, you liked to hear my thoughts, and you found some of the things that I had to say were pretty interesting. I also am going to include some links below in the description so that you can look into a little bit more some of the stories that I was mentioning while I made this video. Now please, I can't say this enough. If you like my videos, you like what I'm doing here, hit that thumb up, like, subscribe, leave comments below. Let me know you like what I'm talking about. And also let me know what else you want to hear me talk about, and I'd be happy to share more of my thoughts and opinions with you and continue to entertain you further. So thank you for watching. This is BlazeLeeDragon, and you have yourself a good day.